at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, gotta get dealt with.
10, 5, and he streaks in. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5, to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
27-20, the final score in Week 14 on Monday Night Football as the Cincinnati Bengals take advantage of a late blunder from the special teams unit and take down the Cowboys for only the second time on the road, this time from AT&T Stadium, as we welcome you in to Cowboys Game Night live from Arlington. We've got Barry Church and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Glad you're with us. This was an unfortunate circumstance for the Cowboys, who did a lot of things right, trying to get their third straight win, keep moving in the right direction, get within one game of 500 on the 2024 season. They block a punt. Everything looks great. And then it's muffed by Amani Oruwariye. It is recovered by the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals do the rest by a 40-yard touchdown from Jamar Chase. I mean, this is just one of those games where you toss your hands up and you say, it's been that kind of season.
Yeah, it's been that type of season. You talk about ups and downs, roller coasters of emotions. I mean, all three phases had their part in this game. And when you look at it defensively, I thought they did enough. I thought they did enough to hold this high-powered, explosive offense for the Cincinnati Bengals that's been averaging around, 38, 40 points a game almost. Joe Burrow, he came to play. I mean, no matter how much you kind of harassed him throughout the game, quarterback pressure, sacks, they were all over him this entire game. But it just goes to show you how much of a player he is and how dominant of a player he is out there. To have the ability to dodge these plays and people coming at him and still finding his main receiver out there, Jamar Chase, throughout the entire game just goes to show you how good they are on that offensive side of the football. But to me, the Dallas Cowboys, they fought extremely hard. Offensively, we saw that balance once again. Rico had another heck of a game. That's back-to-back 100-yard gains for Rico Dowdle. He went out there and showed his impressive game that he had out there today. But to me, it was just the Cincinnati Bengals. It was more about what they did towards the end. It's a 60-minute battle, and they made more plays than the Dallas Cowboys did this afternoon.
You know, I just want to say this. We've done a couple of shows. I want to say thank you for the offensive line. You know, we changed center. We changed the right guard, moved the right guard over to the left guard. So we had a plethora of players playing. Left tackle, we changed that. So just the moving chairs, and these guys held up for the most part, open holes for Rico Dowdle, but it just wasn't enough. The blunder got us there at the end. They made more plays than we made. And sometimes it comes down. Joe Burrow is something unworldly, I promise you.
Yeah, he's played fantastic, and despite a couple of mistakes on his end, the margins are so very thin in an NFL game, and we saw that again today. I thought the way that Barry outlined it as a roller coaster was about right. Yeah. So strap in. Here's the roller coaster of highlights as we get things started here on Cowboys Game Night. Cooper Rush and the Cowboys taking on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Cowboys 7-1 entering all-time against the Bengals at home. Opening drive for the Cowboys looked far too easy. 9 plays, 60 yards, setting up the 4th and 1 from the 11. C.D. Lamb wide open for 6, his first touchdown since Week 8, and the Cowboys lead 7-0. However, the Bengals do have an elite wide receiver too. Joe Burrow finds Jamar Chase from the 5. Cincinnati answers with 7 of their own. Into the second quarter we go. First play of the frame. Dallas inside the Cincinnati red zone, and those problems arise again. Rush's pass to Lamb, tipped and intercepted by Geno Stone. First turnover of the game. Bengals trying to turn it into points. Elect to go for it on 4th and 3 in Dallas territory. Burrow looking for Brown, but overshown in coverage. He makes the stop. Dallas gets it back. After a Cowboys field goal, the Bengals back on offense. Burrow out to Chase Brown in the flat. He turns on the Jets. Initially ruled out at the 3-yard line, but upon further review, stays in by a blade of grass. Bengals take the lead into the break. They lead it 17-10. Cowboys get the ball to start the third, take full advantage. 8 plays, 70 yards. Cooper Rush lofts it up for Brandon Cooks in the back of the end zone. Cowboys tie it at 17 apiece. Time for the Bengals to answer on their offensive side. Right, guys? Not so fast. Joe Burrow, with all the time to throw on this occasion, overshoots Chase, and it's right to Malik Hooker in the secondary. Second pick for Hooker in the last 4 games, both in the spotlight of Monday Night Football. Both teams trade field goals to start start the fourth quarter. Then as the defense has stepped up, 3rd and down and very long, Maris Leofau gets home for the sack. It forces a punt, which is blocked by Nick Vigil. The lofted up punt now takes a hefty hop, and Amani Oruwariye touches it. Bengals recover. They get the football back despite a block. And that's how Cincinnati gets second life for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and this high-powered Bengals offense. A special teams blunder for the ages, setting things up offensively. 1st down and 10, and then they drive into Dallas territory. This connection, Burrow to Chase the 2nd time tonight. This one from 40 yards out puts Cincinnati on top 27-20 with about a minute remaining. Last chance for Dallas and Cooper Rush to try and find the end zone and tie it up. His 4th down and 7 try is over the top of Jake Ferguson, incomplete, and the Bengals get it done on the road. They take full advantage of the muff from Amani Oruwariye as we take a look at some of the final stats brought to you by Miller Lite. One to remember, and not in a good way for the Cowboys and Cowboys Nation. This one hurts at AT&T Stadium. But life goes on, and you still have a slim chance. It's about a 2% chance now, down from 5 early on. It was already slim. Things just got a little bit slimmer to try and make the playoffs. They have to move into a short week. And when we come back on Cowboys Game Night, we hear from head coach Mike McCarthy as he hits to the podium with more right after this.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Cowboys fall to the Cincinnati Bengals 27-20, the final score. Let's hear from head coach Mike McCarthy, who's at the podium now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we actually had a return called. The tackle released. The guard went down. The big gap was exposed. Nick took it. And then we were, able to get the block. AO was in a vice situation. And then, he heard the roar of the crowd, and when he turned, he understands the role, of crossing. Once the ball crosses the line, his response was when he turned, when he heard the crowd, the ball was there, and he reacted to it. So, obviously, a big play in the game.
What do you say? Situation.
Mike, Todd Archer with ESPN. The emotional swings of that moment, because you're in a position to get the ball, maybe go down and win the game.
Oh my goodness, yeah. We had, even before that, had the ball on the ground twice. Had the one turnover, it went back. Yeah, that was, a lot of flow, ebb and flow to the game. But I just, can't say enough about our guys. They just keep fighting, keep competing, and they made one more play than we did. So, you can see it at halftime, the big play production at halftime was 7-7. So, and that was really just a message that we had to just keep slugging this thing away. And, good chance it was going to come down to one play. And that's what it came down to.
On the deflected punt, is that a Peter situation? What's the calls that he's supposed
Peter, yeah. Yes.
With 8 losses, how do you reconcile where you head after this? Do you still
reconcile? We just do the math. Obviously, we're not even back to even. We're still in the hole. We need a tremendous amount of help. Is just being Captain Obvious here. So it's just one of the things we had to have this one. That's the way we approached it. Team had probably our best week of practice, just having the whole secondary out there. Friday's practice, they had numerous interceptions. I felt this week, really for the first time since training camp, we were a complete football team. So I thought we were running on all cylinders. Knew we had to play a certain way because of where we are right now. And I thought we did a solid job of trying to play to that. We needed some takeaways, and our defense was created turnover opportunities. The one giveaway was it was a huge play. We really had a clean play that we had a collision there with our primary receiver, and so that was a big play early. But that's what this time of year is. December. These games are always clawing and scratching because everybody's urgency is at the highest, and we were short. We were one play short today.
Now, that quote from Mike McCarthy cuts deep. This is the first time since training camp, he says, that he felt like he had a complete team. Back with Barry Church and Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. I mean, guys, you could feel the disappointment in his voice. A lot of times, even after these losses, and the Cowboys have had 8 of them this year, after these losses, Mike McCarthy has stepped up to the podium and said, hey, there's a lot of things we can build on. There's optimism there. Even when a lot of people didn't see it, he saw it, and this one hurts, and you could see it since that from Mike McCarthy in that interview.
Yeah, without a doubt. You could tell this one hurt a lot. You know, just listening to his comments out there, you can tell that leading up to this game, the entire week, you know, he said they had a full team out there and that, you know, this game is what they had to win. They had the momentum going. They had 2 wins in a row. They get this. I mean, the sky's the limit after that. They control their own destiny, and this was one of the games that they had to have. And then to have a game where all 4 quarters, all 3 phases were fighting extremely hard. Defense doing their thing, offense doing their thing, the kicking game chipping in as well. To have it in on a blunder like that, it's just heartbreaking. Yeah. It's heartbreaking, and like I said earlier, it's an emotional roller coaster, but this is where those leaders have got to come together, Mike McCarthy included, and galvanize the troop because you still have games to play for the rest of this season.
I'm quite sure, you know, he talked that way coming out. Fellas, we got to still stay together. We still got to play hard. But I'm just telling you, one play. Yeah. I mean, I've been there several times. Barry, you've been there. But you can live off of that one play. You can make some things happen off of that one play. So you know what? Take the other 100 plays, cherishing them, bury that one play that went wrong, and just get better from it.
And it's crazy how one play can make an entire season feel different. If you win that game, you don't have that play. You set up for possibly a game-winning field goal from Brandon Aubrey, and of course you're 6-7, and you've won 3 straight games. Instead, you're still 3 games under 500, and you got to go on the road this week against the Carolina Panthers. When we come back, we're going to hear from Micah Parsons. More reaction from the Cowboys' 27-20 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. We go inside the locker room with more Cowboys game night right after this.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Multiple opportunities for the Cowboys tonight to get to Joe Burrow in the backfield. He was under duress for much of Monday Night Football. However, the Cowboys only have a couple sacks in the 4th quarter to show for it, and Joe Burrow did the rest of the damage himself as he continues to maneuver out of trouble behind that offensive line from Cincinnati. Let's hear from Micah Parsons, one of the guys who gave chase to Joe Burrow but just couldn't get home here in Week 14.
I'm hurt. Man, I won't wish this on anybody. Man, you can't even put that in words, bro, to be honest. I mean, I wasn't even really grasping what was going on. Nick made a great play, and then, you know, I asked the ref, explain what happened. He told me that we touched the ball. It was definitely a huge momentum shift. I mean, we just caught a huge stop. We're going to 2-minute drill. It's just real hard to you think to believe you could pull that game out from that situation. That hurts. Between the players, I mean, so many situations. It's just, I wouldn't say it's snowballing, but I don't know. It seems like we're paying a due that's not fair. You know, I don't know if it's bad luck, karma, but in terms of the work ethic, everyone's working so hard. I mean, I think we really did well. We could have did a little bit better containing. I think we gave up some points, but, I mean, you tell me we hold Joe Burrow to 20 points and 2 minutes left with our offense, the way we was moving the ball today, I think we could win the game.
Yeah, we hear so much about complimentary football. The offense did their job, 104 yards or 100 yards on the ground again for Rico Dowdle as he continued to run the ball effectively. That time of possession won by Cincinnati, but it felt like there was some complimentary aspects to this game, Nate. When you're not able to get home, but you still have pressure, normally that turns into turnovers. It did a couple times today for the Cowboys. But do you feel like the defense did enough to get it done today, even though the score says otherwise?
More than enough. They kept them up on 100 yards rushing. For the most part, they contained Chase for the most part into that fourth quarter. And
they just kept targeting him.
He just kept, and he took off. But he kept everybody else kind of in the mix. Their defense played well enough, I think, to win this game. And if, like you say, I'm going to always go back to one play. And if that one play would have never happened, we'd have been talking about something different.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think the defense definitely did enough to win this ball game. When you talk about holding that explosive offense to 27 points, 20 points before that last touchdown catch by Chase. But to me, it just goes to show you how great of a player Joe Burrow is. That no matter what the situation is, pressure, hurries, it doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to escape, and he's going to find a way to target his big-time receiver and Chase. And those two had a wavelength today. They had a wavelength, and this defense couldn't do anything to stop it. But I understand why Micah Parsons is upset right now, because it's just like, man, we did everything we could. Like, we took the ball away. We hurried Joe Burrow. We sacked him out there. We did everything we could, but we could not come away with the victory. And those are the defeats that hurt the most.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the Cowboys are going to have to reconcile. We heard that from Mike McCarthy earlier, the reconciliation. It's going to have to come in a short time because they've got the Panthers this week. When we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, more post-game reaction following the 27-20 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals right after this.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Yeah, it sucks. Obviously, we needed that win, and we didn't get it. So that's for everybody in the locker room. I mean, obviously, that one hit us. And, yeah, man, I ain't really got too much to say on it, but, yeah, it sucks.
When you talk about the offensive game plan, it seemed like everything you guys really want to do, you were able to do.
Just going out there and execute mostly. Like, that was the end goal. Just going out there making routine plays, doing what we got to do to stay above the sticks, get first downs when needed. And we came up short on a couple, and it bit us.
Yeah, self-inflicted.
That's really the tail of the tape for the Cowboys today in their 27-20 loss to the Cincinnati Bengals with Barry Church and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Guys, CeeDee Lamb, this offense got going early, but they pitter-pattered down the stretch, and that kind of kept the door open for Cincinnati.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you saw this offense, that first drive, they made it look extremely easy. I mean, the touchdown between Cooper Rush and CeeDee Lamb, I was like, oh, this is about to be a barn burner type of a affair we're going to have here offensively. But as you saw towards that second half, Cincinnati kind of put the clamps on them, and they weren't able to consistently move the ball and put pressure on Cincinnati. And then Cincinnati, in return, was able to score a little bit more points than the Dallas Cowboys. So it was a tough outing overall, but I love the balance from the offense.
CeeDee Lamb finished with 6 catches, 93 yards, a touchdown. He had a nice day, but it just wasn't enough, like you said, Barry. I tell you what, man, just keep pushing Rico Dowdle in there. Keep doing what you got to do, because you're so close. Just one play.
Hey, 47 games it took Rico Dowdle to get into 100-yard rushing. He does it in back-to-back weeks. That's one positive to take out of this loss for the Cowboys. When we come back, we put this one in the rearview mirror, take a look ahead to the Carolina Panthers as we wrap up Cowboys Game Night right after this.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys fall 27-20. That's it for Cowboys Game Night. For Barry Church, Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you next week. It is a noon kickoff against the Carolina Panthers on the road. We'll see you at Cowboys Pregame Live starting at 11 a.m.